boots on the seabed, beside a drowned warship, bubbles climbing to daylight. The man is breathing. The sea has lost. For all of history, the sea kept what it took. A man could go no deeper than one held breath, so whatever sank was gone. The way down began as a fireman's helmet. In 1823, an Englishman, Charles Deane, patented it for walking into smoke. In 1828, he and his brother John took it underwater instead. Air pumped down a hose from the surface into a copper helmet. They proved it in the River Thames. For the first time, a man stood on a riverbed and worked, but the helmet only rested on his shoulders. Nothing held it there but its own weight. If he bent too far or fell, the sea poured in. Sometimes he came up, sometimes he did not. The man who sealed that flaw was not born British. Augustus Siebe, born in Saxony, raised to work metal. He fought for Prussia and was wounded at the Battle of Leipzig in 1813. When the wars ended, he did what makers across Europe did. He came to Britain, the workshop the world came to. By 1829, he was at 5 Denmark Street, Soho, building precision instruments. It was Siebe who made the Diener's helmets and refined them at their side. No one knew the flaw better. In 1837, he ended it. He sealed the helmet to a full suit of watertight rubberized canvas. The whole diver airtight, all but his hands. Now he could bend, stumble, even fall. The air stayed in, the sea stayed out. It needed proving, and Britain had the perfect wreck waiting. The Royal George, sunk at Spithead in 1782. Over 50 years on, she was still being worked. The Deanes had already dived her in the open helmet, raising her guns. Then in 1839, Colonel Charles Pasley of the Royal Engineers arrived, with gunpowder. Brutal work in a helmet that flooded if a man fell. So in 1840, Pasley moved his divers into Siebe's closed dress. No ladders, no flooding by a fall. They worked her until September 1843, when the anchorage was declared safe. The old helmet had opened the door. The sealed one walked through it. Siebe's design became the standard diving dress. Built in Soho, worn by navies and salvage crews across the world for over 100 years. He died at his home on Denmark Street in 1872, aged 84. They sometimes call him the father of diving. Every diver who ever came home owes a debt to a name nobody knows. 2 English brothers dared the water. A Prussian hand in a Soho workshop made it give men back. Stories like his go out free. People like you keep the air in the line. Find out more at proudofus.co.uk/support. Be part of us. Be proud of us.